Welcome to Macro Consulting, Module Number 1 Training. Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge the First Nations people globally, all over the world, where you're watching from and where we're presenting from. I'd like to acknowledge the First Nations from each of those countries. Here in Australia, I'd like to acknowledge the First Nations, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. I'd also acknowledge that the land was stolen. It was never ceded. I pay my respects to ongoing leadership for First Nations cultures globally.
Thanks, Sigrid. I'd also like to just recognise that we have a lot of members of the deaf community here in Australia and worldwide, and I want to recognise the importance of sign languages, of deaf culture, of deaf wisdom, and the diversity of deafness in all its forms. So we've got a few housekeeping things to start with. Firstly, I want to check with people out there to make sure they've done the quiz for this module. It's a really good way to find out what you do and don't know. You might not realise what you don't know, and I know that was certainly my experience when I first started work in this area. There's a link on our webpage to the quizzes for each of the modules. It's anonymous. You don't have to log in, and none of the results are shared. Even we can't see who's answered the quizzes, so we won't know your score. If you haven't had a go at them, you can pause this video and try them out. It only takes a minute or so.
Louise, you've been offering this type of information and training for many years in different hospitals, universities, and conferences, multiple various situations. You are often mentioning to me that people are quite surprised about what they don't know and what they are yet to learn, things that they've never thought about before. Is that right?
Absolutely. And some of the things, I remember being surprised when I learnt about them for the first time. Things like sign names. What's a sign name? Which we'll get to later. People ask questions like, do deaf people dream in sign language? How do deaf people...
People often ask questions, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, can deaf people drive?
Yeah. How do they know if their babies are crying at night?
Absolutely right.
And can they lip read what everyone is saying in a noisy bar?
Oh, yes. On TV shows, there's always that deaf character who lip reads for the crime or forensic unit. There's that, complete accuracy they've got.
Yeah, so I think there's lots of stuff that people in the hearing world don't know about that happens in the deaf world.
Yeah. It's really lovely to have you all here to start unpacking some of this type of work and understanding. It's really exciting to dig a little bit deeper into this.
Yeah, and this module is designed so that, we live in a busy world. Making time for self-education can be tricky. So we're offering this in chapters, and that means you can take breaks, come back to the video as you need. We are hoping to do this in a little bit of a conversational way. And I guess that means we're also modeling working bilingually with interpreters, turn taking. So, you'll see us working with interpreters and what some of the challenges are when you've got this bilingual approach to things.
Yeah, I might add a little bit to that as well, in terms of modelling for this particular video. So for myself, I'm deaf and I use Auslan to communicate. I actually also use spoken English as well, but I'll be using Auslan for this particular program, this module. So we have interpreters here, Elisa, who's voicing for me at the moment. Louise is using Mikey to interpret and into Auslan for her today. So that means that all of the content will be provided in both Auslan and English. We also have captions, which will be available for those who would like to read the captions as well. Access is really important to us. It's really part of exactly what we're trying to do, educate and share with everyone here. This course is self-paced. So if you're watching along, take your time, do what's comfortable for you, take breaks if you need. And enjoy.
So we've also got some YouTube videos, some what I like to call stimulus material, things that will get you thinking. You can watch them and have a think about them. And there'll be a link put up on the screen so that you can find them in parts of this module. We'll also have a list of resources that you can download from the website so that you can review any of the material that we use for conversation. We're aware that some of you might be in Australia and some of you might be in other places. So we've also chosen videos from different sign languages around the place as well. So that'll get us all thinking and talking. Okay, we're ready to launch into some content.
If there are any links that you're struggling with, they're not working or they're not available, please reach out and contact us as well. We'll look into that and fix that or find an alternative option for you.
Yeah, exactly. The world we live in. Sometimes digital things break and get moved, but we've got lots of content for you. So please let us know. We'll always find a replacement.